everybody, welcome back. I'm Urvashi and today in this video I'm going to be talking about the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni. So this is the 12th nakshatra in the series. I have covered the first 11 from Ashwini to Pura Falguni. So why do we need to watch these videos? What are nakshatras? Nakshatras are lunar mansions, and the zodiac is further divided into other than the 12 signs that we are all very well aware of, it is further divided into 27 lunar mansions, and the moon transits in one lunar mansion through one day. It goes through one lunar mansion. And why it is important to know these nakshatras, it's because every sign in the zodiac, right from Aries to Pisces, has about 3 different nakshatras mapped into them, and each of these nakshatras are different energies. So you may find a person born in Aries and 2 people born in Aries be very different in their approach towards things. So the difference would be, of course, also because of the moon sign, the sun sign, the rising, where the ascendant lord is posited, and so many other things. But the nakshatra that his moon is posited in, and the nakshatra of the ascendant, and the nakshatra of the sun, these are 3 extremely important nakshatras in a person's chart. So in order to know the personality of the person, you need to know these 3 nakshatras. And because these nakshatras have specific qualities, you will also see that specific quality picked up by that planet. So if a planet, let's suppose your 10th lord is posited in a particular nakshatra, so if you know the quality of that nakshatra, that planet is going to get certain qualities from that nakshatra. So today we talk about Uttara Falguni, and specifically if your ascendant or moon is posited in Uttara Falguni, this is going to be an important video for you. Also, to know the transit of the moon in the various nakshatras, and what kind of activities would be favorable, what kind of activities would not be favorable, you also need to know the quality of the nakshatra. So today we talk about Uttara Falguni. Uttara Falguni is spans from Leo, 26 degrees 40 minutes of Leo, to 10 degrees of Virgo. The first quarter of this nakshatra is in the zodiac sign of Leo. The last 3 quarters or the next 3 quarters are in Virgo. So if you have a planet posited there, then let's see the qualities this planet is going to have. So we did Pura Falguni, and now we're doing Uttara Falguni. And as the name suggests, they have similar themes. The first common theme is, in Pura Falguni we talked about the front 2 feet of the cot. It's almost as if you're moving towards a bed and you see the front part of the bed. So you're moving towards it and you want to go and rest. That was Pura Falguni. It was all about relaxation, resting, comfort. And I also talked about Magha. So the series in fact starts from Magha. Magha is the first nakshatra in the zodiac sign of Leo. Magha is all about going for that throne. In Pura Falguni you have achieved the throne and now you want to go and rest. You see the front part of the bed or the cot. In Uttara Falguni, it's again the bed, the cot, but now it's the latter part. Uttara means the latter one. So not the front part, the front 2 legs, it's the legs at the back, the behind ones. So it's the part where you have finished the act of resting and now you're on the verge of getting up. So this is more of an action oriented nakshatra as compared to the previous one. The previous one was all about resting, enjoyment. The previous one is also called, where plants are concerned, the Pura Falguni was connected to the small fig plant, and the Uttara Falguni nakshatra is connected to the mature fig plant. So you can see a level of maturity, a level of fertilization, a level of commitment, a level of completeness. There is some amount of satisfaction that you will see in this nakshatra, that satisfaction that we feel once we have rested. We feel rejuvenated, we feel complete, and we wake up to then do our duties. So the sign of Leo is the natural 5th house, and I also talked about this being the gains of the 7th house. This is the 11th from the 7th house. So this is the gains of the 7th house, the gains of relationships. So the Leo is the sign of relationships, but Purva Phalguni was all about relationships, all about romance, love. And in Uttara Phalguni, it's more about now making a commitment in that relationship. It's about settling down. So it's not the process of dating or courtship. It's now about marriage. It's commitment. It's the final settlement. So it's the second part of this nakshatra. The Phalgunis come in a pair. So that was the first part of meeting somebody, romance, the small fig tree. Now this is the latter part, settling down with that person, doing a contract, doing a negotiation, doing certain business dealings, after having rested, after having rejuvenated, because I talked about all that in Purva Phalguni. After having all those creative ideas that you were having when you were resting, now you've woken up and you want to go out and do your duties. That is what the basic theme of this nakshatra is. This nakshatra is ruled by the sun. The previous nakshatra that the sun ruled was Kritika. Kritika was, associated with a strong will. The sun, is also our will, our ego. In Uttara Phalguni, this is the second nakshatra ruled by the sun. This nakshatra not only has a will, it also has a lot of intelligence. So Uttara Phalguni is connected to intelligence because this nakshatra is ruled by the sun, and it is happening in the house of the sun. It is happening in the zodiac sign of Leo, part of it, and the other part is in Virgo. These are two very intelligent signs. So there is a lot of intelligence that you will see in this nakshatra. There are certain things that are associated with the sun. If you think of the sun, the other planets, all the other planets are moving, then they retrograde, they stop sometimes, they are stationary. The sun is one planet that moves 1 degree a day. It never stops, it never retrogrades. It's very consistent. The sun is a significator of authority, government, authority position, bosses, vitality, good health, physical, your physical strength is seen from the sun. Continuity, like I said, every day 1 degree. Responsibility, continuity and responsibility towards your work. The sun never rests. So these are some of the key themes also you will see in this nakshatra. You will see all the qualities of Leo in the nakshatra of Uttara Phalguni. There is more action. Magha also had a lot of royalty, so did Purva Phalguni, but Uttara Phalguni is the king who is at the throne. He has relaxed. Now he's up and about to do his duty. There are certain very interesting tales that are mythological stories that are attached to this nakshatra. So one of them is King Janak. King Janak was once asked by a sage, you are a king. You have so much around you, so much beauty, so much luxury, these huge palaces. How come you do your duty so well? So he told the sage, he says, take this lamp and you have to take an entire round of the palace that I owned, and make sure that the lamp, the light, the candle does not go off. It has to stay lit throughout your walk. So the sage took the candle and he walked through the king's palace. Huge palace it was. But the sage was very, very particular that the candle should stay lit all through my walk. So once the journey was over, he met the king, and the king asked him, so how did you like my palace? And the sage said, I have no idea. I didn't even look around. I was busy taking care of the light. So this is in a very, very interesting story about King Janak. So King Janak said, I have no idea what is all around me. I'm very focused in my duties as a king. Similarly. So this is what this nakshatra is about. It's a nakshatra of duty and responsibility. Dharma. Righteousness. Then there is another, the animal connected to this nakshatra is a male cow or a bull. And we all know that Lord Shiva's Vahan is a bull, Nandi. And Nandi is always waiting patiently outside Lord Shiva's temples with hands folded in admiration of Lord Shiva. Nandi is the significant of patience. Nandi stands on 4 feet. The cow stands on 4 feet. Each foot has a special significance. I think one is truth, one is responsibility or duty. I'm forgetting 2 more. So, truth, satya, righteousness, dharma, and there are 2 more feet. So these are, I will mention them, I will write those things I've forgotten. Some of the things you forget, when you're going to make a video. So I'm just going to mention them here for you guys. So these are some other themes connected to this nakshatra. And the patience that Nandi has, the patience and dedication towards its duty that Nandi has, the responsibility that Nandi shows, the dedication that Nandi shows towards the Lord are some of the qualities again that we have in this nakshatra. The deity of this nakshatra is Aryaman. Aryaman is called the god of the ancestors. Aryaman is called the god of eternal law. Aryaman is called the god of marriage. Aryaman is invoked for the marital rites, the oaths that in Hindu marriage, when a couple is getting married, the oaths they take, the rites that are performed, they are done in the presence of Aryaman. Aryaman is invoked to be there and witness those rites because Aryaman protects dharma. Aryaman, Mitra, Bhaga and Varuna are the guardians of light that protect the traveler in their journey. They show us the direction. Bhaga, the deity of Pura Falguni, was the god of wealth and he gave wealth. Aryaman helps us protect wealth, invest wealth, manage wealth. Aryaman is connected with management, investment. Aryaman is associated with somebody who follows the law. So this is a nakshatra of ethics, rules, traditions, religion, somebody who follows dharma. Aryaman is that small voice inside of you which will tell you that this is what is right, this is what you're supposed to be doing, in spite of that other voice telling you that what you desire to do is something else. So there are always 2 voices inside of us. One voice is always telling us what we want, that is the immature mind that will always tell us our desires. Aryaman is the voice that will tell you what you should be doing. He is one, like I said, he is a guardian of the light. He shows us a path in this journey. He shows us our dharma. He shows us what we are supposed to be doing. Aryaman is the god of kindness and favors. So this nakshatra shows getting favors or benefits from somebody, or showing kindness and doing favors for others, doing charity for others. You will see both things in this nakshatra. If this nakshatra is very strong with benefic planets and the rest of the chart is also promising, then this person would be a person who does great charity. And if this nakshatra is afflicted, then you will see this person can be a needy person and he will be needing others' help, and other people will be there to help, support and do favors for this person. Aryaman is also a guide and an explorer. There is a lot of adventure. These people are very, very adventurous. Aryaman is the god of the unions, god of the god of contracts, negotiations. So these people will be great at negotiating, in contracts, in making contracts, or these people could be involved in that kind of work. Aryaman is also, the literal meaning of Aryaman is a friend, a companion. So these people are very friendly, generally happy people. Aryaman also means delegating work, managing things, taking charge of things. And if literally I was to explain this to you, this person could be somebody who's working at a very senior position in the tax department, and he's managing the affairs of that area, and he's collecting taxes from everybody. So he's delegating work and collecting taxes and using that same money for the benefit of that same society. So just to make you understand, this is about finance. This nakshatra is about wealth. Aryaman is the god of wealth, of managing wealth, investing wealth. And he is the god of unions, of partnerships, negotiations. So this nakshatra is about, going out and doing partnerships, doing business dealings. This nakshatra is about managing that finance and then giving back to society. So these people can be great managers. They can be very efficient in their work. They'd be great at delegating work in a very, very friendly manner. They can be great friends. They'd be happy people. We see a lot of great celebs, born in the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni. I'm going to share a few of them with you. You will understand what this nakshatra is like. So the first person that comes to mind is J.K. Rowlings. So J.K. Rowlings comes from a very, very humble background. And she worked as a secretary in some department. She had various jobs, but all throughout her childhood, she wanted to be a writer. She struggled. She was, there was a time, in fact, it was a long stretch when she was a single mother and she was living off the benefits that she was getting from the government. So because she was not working, she was being supported by the government. So here, authority figures, like I said, this nakshatra is connected with authority and benefits from authority, getting benefits, giving benefits. So there was a time when she was just living on those benefits. She was working hard. She was writing those stories. And then there was a time when she became one of the first billionaires in the world through writing. I mean, she was the first billionaire that became a billionaire through writing. And then later on, she gave away so much to charity that, of course, she came out of that list. I was reading somewhere she was on the list of billionaires and then she came off that list because she gave away so much. And she gave charity for removing poverty, for children, for single parents. There's a strong theme of children and parenthood in this nakshatra. Then the second person who was born in this nakshatra that comes to my mind right now is Sean Connery. Sean Connery came from a very, very humble background again. His mother was a cleaning lady. His father worked in a factory. He had a lot of odd jobs. There's another very interesting thing that I read about this nakshatra. Till the age of 32, they tend to struggle. People ruled by this nakshatra will struggle initially, and after that they will start blossoming and they will do very well. So Sean Connery did a lot of jobs. I think he was selling milk, and at one time he worked at the Navy. He was he was discharged from the Navy because of health issues, and then Sean Connery somehow came into acting. And he was hardworking, action oriented, ambitious. He tried a lot of things. He worked very hard. He took he used to read a lot about Shakespeare, Tolstoy, because he wanted to improve his language once he got a little bit into acting. And he was taking a lot of lessons so that he could talk properly. So he worked hard on himself, and he was a bodybuilder. This nakshatra is about physical vitality, health. And here, Sean Connery was a bodybuilder. And I think he won certain prizes. I'm not sure what all. He won certain titles as a bodybuilder as well. And then he came into movies. And then there is another example, Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra is another person ruled by Uttara Falguni. So Deepak Chopra comes from a family of doctors. I think his father was a doctor, not his mother. He himself had an easy childhood. He went to the US to study and everything. But he suffered in a way. He could not connect with the way things were. He could not connect with the way doctors were managing, or how unhappy doctors were in the profession. And so he went into alternative forms of healing. So this nakshatra is connected to healing. This nakshatra is connected to acting. They can be great actors, creativity, art. And because especially the next three padas, that fall in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. So you will see people from all kinds of backgrounds who struggle, who rise, who keep doing their bit, who are hardworking, and they are able to make a name for themselves. That will be in the nakshatra of Uttar Falguni. This nakshatra is about creating success. This nakshatra is not about enjoying and relaxing. This nakshatra is about creating it with your intelligence. There are certain weaknesses connected to this nakshatra. For instance, these people can be stubborn, they can be a little self-centered, negative qualities that you will see in the sign of Leo, bossy, critical, inconsiderate, restless, restless. The sun is restless. The sun does not want rest. It wants to keep moving. So, but the positives of this nakshatra, the strengths that these people have they will be ambitious, they'll be productive, they'll be generous, they'll be very intelligent, they'll be truthful, honest, hardworking, they'll be very concerned about the environment, they would be interested in healing, they'll have good negotiation skills, good knowledge on finances, they will know how to manage finances, how to run a business. These will be natural tendencies that you will see in this nakshatra, and they will know how to convert a business dealing into a contract. So these are the people who can take practical decisions in life. They know how to manage things, in a very detailed manner. They live in a very, very practical way, and they live in a very realistic way. They lead life very realistically. They have strong aims, goals, ambitions. They are hardworking, they are focused, they are generous, they do a lot of charity. That both J.K. Rowling and even Sean Connery did a lot of charity, and a lot of people, especially in Scotland, a lot of people benefited through the charity that Sean Connery did. So these people are very generous, they are kind, they tend to help others, they want to help others, they are environmentalists, they are concerned about the environment and they want to do something about it. Similarly, when they are in need, they will get help, because the deity ruling this nakshatra is Aryaman. Aryaman is the god of benefits, of favors. Like J.K. Rowling was getting a lot of favors from the government for some time, and then she was giving those favors back to society. She was doing a lot of charity for society. So it's a two-way thing. So it's a very, very good nakshatra for growth. I will be doing another video. In the second video, I'm going to be talking about the 4 padas connected to this nakshatra. I'm going to be talking about the auspicious and inauspicious activities when moon is transiting this nakshatra, and the career choices connected to this nakshatra. We'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.